has should be abolished, and that any new generating capacity being brought to the grid must be subject to full and fair competition. We also believe that those operators who do their business in the special economic zones should be able to generate and to distribute electricity within those zones. We also believe that there ought to be greater regulations governing street lights. There are too many lights that do not work, and there's no proper accountability for them. We also believe that there should be greater consumer rights protection in any new license that is granted to enable consumers to have rights against JPSCO for damages to their equipment and so on. And we also believe that there should be the seamless implementation of wheeling on the grid at this time. Those are, for us, some of the preconditions to any new license being granted. And we urge the government to indicate to the country next week where we are with those negotiations.
As cleanup activities continue across communities hardest hit by Hurricane Melissa, civil engineers are assessing what went wrong and what must change as homeowners start to rebuild. The president-elect of the Jamaica Institution of Engineers says many of the destroyed buildings were not built to withstand a Category 5 hurricane. Carla Ramdeen reports.
President-elect of the Jamaica Institution of Engineers, Dr. Leighton Ellis, says based on initial assessments, many roofs destroyed during the passage of Melissa were not built to withstand a storm of that magnitude.
In our codes and standards, does it allow for a Cat 5 hurricane? Currently, no, it doesn't. So we did see wind forces higher than what the standard is presently, and that would have contributed. But I still believe that from what we've assessed, when we look at the level of damages, if the code was adhered to in a number of how the structures were built, less damage would have been occurring as a result of that.
Dr. Ellis also notes that roofs that survived were the ones properly engineered, but warns that even well-designed structures can fail when contractors cut corners or skip critical features like hurricane straps.
From what we've observed, those that did survive, fortunately, were the ones that were engineered. They had the financing, let me put it that way, in order to ensure that the appropriate spacing and fasteners were used to construct those roofs. They may have appeared similar prior to the hurricane, but naturally now, when tested, it revealed what was the truth as to which one was properly constructed and engineered and which one was not. Now, I would want to also caution, because again, speaking from an engineering perspective, I would like to believe that some structures may have also been engineered. But unfortunately, during the construction phase, for whatever reason, there may have been certain parameters were not maintained. And as a result, we saw the level of damage that we were able to witness in that sense as well.
Vice President of Engineering Affairs at the JIE, Dr. Christopher Burgess, adds that the widespread roof failures are not solely due to engineering mistakes. He says social and economic factors, such as not having a land title or self-building homes without professional oversight, contributes heavily to construction weaknesses.
80% of the persons who lost their homes when Melissa passed did not have the benefit of engineering advice. They lived in board houses or in masonry structures with very weak roofs. I saw a lot of these roofs with very small 4-inch rafters spaced 3 feet apart, which any engineer will quickly tell is insufficient to resist the winds that of any Cat 2 or 3. A lot of them lost their roofs actually in Beryl last year. So people build with what they can afford. And so I don't see it as an engineering problem. I see it as a societal problem, an economic problem, where unfortunately a lot of our people cannot wait on the formal housing market. And so from the early 2000s, there was a noticeable uptick in what you call self-building of homes. Persons took it upon themselves to build their own block and steel homes or their own board homes. Well, in a lot of instances in Westmoreland and Hanover, board homes has been a part of their history from colonial times, and that has remained with us there.
Dr. Ellis says public knowledge and awareness about proper building practices are essential moving forward. While Dr. Burgess adds that addressing land tenure and investing in proper infrastructure are also key.
From the engineering standpoint, I would say education. And let me tell you why. I think knowledge is a lot of power. And I think a lot of our citizens don't have the knowledge that is required for them to protect themselves in situations such as these. So I think if it is that we do a major campaign going around and stratifying how we share that knowledge, most times we tend to put it in a book. But the truth is, not everybody's going to read a book, especially the age in which we live now. So maybe we need to go more video format, which can be shared and disseminated very easily.
My focus would be land tenure. I think if we address land tenure, all people can take care of themselves and build their own resilience. And then secondly, I would say infrastructure. We need to invest in our infrastructure, proper drainage, proper flood control, proper coastal protection to protect commercial interests. You know, when I look at the losses along Catherine Hall, in terms of the number of persons and their property destroyed, it's phenomenal.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Farmers in parts of Portland say drought conditions are pushing them to the edge, threatening their crops and their livelihood. One farmer says not only has the dry spell made farming nearly impossible, but support from the Agriculture Ministry has been limited and unevenly distributed. Kevin Black reports.
Well, the drought, because I raise a lot of goat, pig, layer, broiler, and sometimes the water beat me.
Current drought gripping Portland is leaving farmers desperate and uncertain about their future. For many, the land is their only source of income, but now it's failing them.
Well, the drought, because I raise a lot of goat, pig, layer, broiler, and sometimes the water beat me. I do it as a living, send my 4 kids to school out of it. So I believe in farming. I do farming from I was a little bit coming up, and now I'm 53 years old. So I believe in farming.
She claims that support from the Ministry of Agriculture toward the Portland farmers is lacking.
I never come into it, I never get any benefit from them, never. I just things on my own. Because now I never get a fertilizer from them, but I never get a vegetable, I never get seed, nothing from them to plant.
She also claims seed distribution at the regularly held farmers' meetings is inconsistent and unequal.
They more get people seed when I plant. And the people who get the seed, when them sell it. You will do the way we plant things. I like have a good backyard garden, I'm a farmer. Then I look forward to you. Because I see it and I witness with my eyes. The meeting is come like it's a curry favor things. If you don't hope to them and big up in it and then I look upon the little small local. And you have to carry the local people because them are the strong people with it.
Farmers say they're simply hoping for rain and for urgent intervention to prevent a total collapse of their livelihoods. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
I'll take a break here on CVM News at 7. More to come when we come back.
Everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Welcome back. It's time now for regional and international news. The political battle for St. Lucia has officially begun, not in quiet offices, but in a roaring, colorful street-level showdown. Nomination Day exploded into a nationwide display of carnival-style battlegrounds. The details from the DBS television.
Vibrant scenes unfolded across St. Lucia on Nomination Day as waves of supporters swept their candidates to their nomination centers to submit nomination papers endorsed by at least 6 registered electors. The atmosphere was particularly electric in Grosley, where supporters of the St. Lucia Labour Party SLP candidate Kenson Casimir took to the streets. Dressed in party colors, they marched to the returning office, chanting campaign songs and creating a boisterous spectacle as Casimir formalized his candidacy.
I think the people behind me, they've seen the work over 4 years. They know they elected a parliamentary representative that went to work immediately in Grosley, and they are nominating a parliamentary representative that they know will do even more. They know I wasn't able to do everything that every individual wanted. I couldn't have done every single road, but they know that we've worked and they've never seen so much work in the constituency in Grosley over a 4-year period. So, very sweet victory coming on December 1st.
The political excitement continued in Grosley minutes after Casimir entered the Human Resource Development Center. The United Workers' Party UWP candidate Marcella Johnson and her supporters arrived, creating a swift change in the atmosphere. Her motor
And over in Barbados, the nation's first president, Dame Sandra Mason, was the center of attention during a historic farewell military parade hosted by the Barbados Defense Force. More from CBC News Barbados.
The Barbados Defense Force, Barbados Police Service, and the cadets participated in the farewell military parade for Her Excellency the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason, a fitting tribute to her service and leadership as the first president of Barbados. Delivering her farewell speech, President Mason said from the first day she took up the mantle as Commander-in-Chief, she has regarded the role not as ceremonial pageantry, but as a solemn responsibility to safeguard the institutions that protect the country's democracy, and to support those Barbadians who bear the weight of that duty with discipline, courage, and quiet sacrifice.
You, the men and women of the Barbados Defense Force and the Barbados Police Service, have served this nation with unwavering loyalty. As Commander-in-Chief of both services, I have seen your dedication, whether maintaining security on our streets, responding in moments of national strain, be they at sea, on land, or in cyberspace, participating in regional humanitarian missions, or standing together in joint ceremonial duties such as this. Your professionalism has never wavered.
Dame Sandra said.
And in international news, world leaders from the group of 20 rich and developing economies broke with tradition and adopted a declaration at the start of their summit, this in South Africa on Saturday. Despite opposition from the United States, which is boycotting the 2-day talks in a diplomatic rift with the host country, we hear more from France 24.
Under heightened security, world leaders arrive in Johannesburg for the first G20 summit on African soil. The host nation has set out an ambitious agenda for this year's talks, focusing on climate change and confronting global inequality.
The adoption of the declaration from the summit sends an important signal to the world that multilateralism can and does deliver. It tells the world that as the leaders of the G20, we will keep fast to our solemn pledge to leave no person, no community, and no country behind.
In an unusual move, leaders adopted their joint declaration on day one, despite the noticeable absence of the G20's largest economy. US President Donald Trump has boycotted this year's summit over unsubstantiated claims that South Africa is pursuing anti-white policies and prosecuting its Afrikaners minority. The White House called plans to draft a declaration shameful.
And that's it for regional and international news. A young mother pulls on her survival skills to shield her baby as Hurricane Melissa tore through her house in one of the western parishes, where it unleashed some of the strongest winds. More in Inspire Jamaica with Carlin Brown.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
Janice Drummond is a resident of Chester Castle, Hanover, a mother of a 4 and a 1 month and 2 weeks old baby. She felt the violent and the impartial sides of Melissa.
The hurricane wasn't good at all. It wasn't a good experience, especially with my baby. So I was home. I live in a board house. Because we live on a hill and so forth. To be honest, we never take this storm so serious.
The eye-opening encounter left her with enough evidence to teach her girls practical history lessons.
Well, good thing we have a concrete bathroom. When the storm come and the house was moving, because Melissa have 3 different sounds. It have one where make the woo sound, and you have one that sound like a one drill, like it a dig, that one they take with everything. And you have a next one that sound like the cow bawling. My God. One till us Melissa gone with the house, and then you take out the bathroom door. Man, the baby was soaking wet inside the bathroom.
So how did you manage in the bathroom, you, your mom, and the baby?
Well, I had to take cover in the shower, even though the breeze was heavy and like it was pulling everything from out of the bathroom. But I had to lie flat in the bathroom with my baby. So I was on my baby. I didn't know where my mom was because I was trying to cover my baby. So we were just soaking wet, and we just have a whole lump of victory.
That laughter, like tears, represent unspeakable suffering, not only for her family.
We have to just thank God for life, because many out there don't have no house, no clothes, no nothing.
She's not even trying to imagine if the hours of strong wind and heavy rainfall had lasted longer.
When I went outside, after everything, everywhere was just flat. It's like a fire was light and just burned down up to the grass. It was brown like there was a fire. Everywhere is just flat. So everything was just flat. You can see all the way in Anchovy from my end.
Well, right now, she lived in Chester Castle. Thankful a relative in the corporate area has taken in the 4 of them, and there is access to health care if necessary.
And why are you at Victoria Jubilee Hospital?
Okay, so the reason why I'm here today is because I lost all my documents, including my baby documents. So I just came here today to get back some documents. I'm not really worried about myself because I'm baby alright, I'm a mother alright. Alright, but for the others them out there, when I have no house at all, no relative, nobody who for run to for stay with them, have to sleep on floor up on the street.
Ms. Drummond has no steady income, but she was doing hair now and again in her community. She was just in time to benefit from outreach at Jubilee for her baby.
Care is beyond just giving you a tablet. Care is as defined by the World Health Organization. Health is a state of physical, mental, and psychological well-being. We treat patients as a whole, right? And we deal with our staff as a whole because we have to have healthy people to make people healthy.
Clothing, food, and all things for a baby and a toddler are part of this family's short-term needs, but long-term, everything to rebuild a place to call home again, including furniture.
Melissa do her man, but look at her.
I am Carlin Brown. Let's continue to inspire Jamaica.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if
And the newscast continues with sports. Ronaldo Brown